Tuesday night. It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, and we are live Tuesday night. I show up live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard pretty much every single Tuesday, and we blast out a live cast. My goal is to add some clarity to your transformation journey, give you some motivation, inspire you, give you some tips that can help propel you forward with your transformation momentum. And tonight, we're talking about the scale, which is a huge nemesis for a lot of people. So before we dive into that, I'm going to wave to a few friends here. Let's see. We got Hindo, we got Cass, Danielle. I see you. I'm going to wave at people. My dad, Mike Shibley, is watching. Sherry, I see you. How's it going? Now, we're also live on YouTube tonight. I'm kind of revamping my YouTube channel, the Million Pound Mission channel on YouTube. So hello, YouTube. How's it going? I'm getting more into YouTube because my children have launched their YouTube channel. You guys can check them out at Healthy Kids TV. We've got about 12 videos up and we're having some fun with that. And I won't dive too deep on that yet, but that is something you can check out if you want to. If you're on YouTube, if you're into YouTube, or if you have kids that watch YouTube, have them check out Healthy Kids TV. I think they'll like it. All right. So we're talking about the scale. And what I always say about the scale is that the scale makes really, really intelligent people do and say really, really weird things. All right. Like some of this, I have high level, high thinking clients. They step on the scale and it's like Twilight Zone brain, weird stuff starts coming out of their mouth. They start acting in just really not smart ways. So we want to change the way we're thinking about the scale. And one of the things that I try to get my clients to think about as far as the scale goes is that when you step on that scale, that's a data point, right? It's not the end all be all of everything. It's not the thing that we make all of our nutritional or fitness decisions based off of. But it's like, I like to have people come in when they're at my gym, and I like to have them come in and weigh in once every 2 weeks. I control the environment. They're not sitting there freaking out about them stepping on the scale by themselves. There's a support team around it. We have strategies in place to handle whatever happens at the scale. So I like once every 2 weeks, and it's just a data point though. So it'd be the same thing as if I said, all right, you're going to come in and do a push-up test once every 2 weeks. We're going to see what happens. We're going to collect that data, and we might make a few tweaks. We might not, but you wouldn't change your nutrition plan, or you wouldn't go and emotionally eat based off of whether or not you did more push-ups in the last test or not. So that's the kind of mindset shift I want you to make around the scale, is that this is data collection. It's not the end all be all of everything that we're doing. Like it's not a pass fail grade when we step on that scale. So obviously we get into our heads about the scale. Everybody does. And it's a tough thing. And another mindset shift that I try to kind of get it in my clients' heads about is, like, let's say you came to me, you're a brand new client, and we're doing some initial assessments. And I said, all right, I'm going to develop a plan that in the next 2 weeks, you're going to lose 5 pounds of fat. We're going to rip 5 pounds of fat off your body. And also, we're going to put 5 pounds of lean, awesome, hot, sexy muscle on your body. So we're going to rip 5 pounds of fat off. We're going to add 5 pounds of lean, sexy muscle tissue on your body. Most people are like, sign me up. I'm down. Until we get on the scale and it says 0, right? Because if we lose 5 pounds of fat, we put on 5 pounds of muscle. Those things independently we get excited about until we step on that scale. The scale brain warps us and it says 0, and we freak out and we go and binge eat, or we go and cry in a big bucket of tacos. All right. So I want to just throw a few mental curveballs at you like that, just to get you thinking differently, because we have to start separating the emotional reaction from what happens when we step on that scale. Another great story that I love to tell is I had a client that was in my very first boot camp I did at my gym back in 2009. And we would do my clients know, don't weigh yourself every day. All right. And it's because this one client I wasn't so strict about that until this client would text me every day and go, Adam, it's 11:15 a.m. I'm up 0.6 pounds from yesterday when I weighed in. What's going on? And she would literally just lose it and freak out. And I'd be like, listen, did you eat already? Have you drank water? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's why you're up 0.6 pounds, because you have food in your body and water in your body. And who knows, maybe you're sore. There's so many variables that impact that number. But again, highly intelligent, business professional freaking out and sending me text messages on a consistent basis. So it's not where we want to be mentally with that connection with the scale. So that is just another example of people kind of getting in their own head about it. Another thing that's huge with the scale, a huge mistake, is if you are weighing yourself daily and changing your routine daily off of what that scale is telling you. Specifically, people that weigh themselves and go, oh, I'm down 3 pounds. I can be loose on my diet today. Or, oh, I'm up 3 pounds. I can't eat anything today. So that is these are just danger zones. These are alarm bells that should be going off. If you're saying, yes, I do that to any of those things, we have to stop. All right. That's super dangerous. Adjusting your game plan daily based off of what that scale number is telling you, we absolutely can't have that. That's a huge no-no. So the other area that I see the scale really screwing with people is when they are approaching a big goal number. All right. So like maybe you've been in the 300-pound weight range for most of your adult life, and you're getting close to being at 299.9. Big moment, right? And a lot of people just have great momentum. They're knocking off 20 pound, 30 pound, 40 pound, 50 pound, big momentum, big weight loss. And then as you get closer and closer and closer, you start to get in your head about that number. Why isn't it going fast enough? When am I going to be over 300? When am I going to be 299.9? And we start to get in our head about it. And that adds stress. That stress depletes willpower. Depleted willpower means, that decision fatigue happens, bad combo, and all of a sudden we start to backslide. So if you are approaching a big number, for example, I had a client that her goal, her main goal when she started, was to be at the 40-pound weight loss club. And, in my gym, we celebrate the people in the clubs. We have dry erase boards, and it's a cool thing. But that was like her big dream. That was the big why behind all of her efforts. And she lost 25 pounds real fast, but then started to get, that close range, and that I'm not there yet mindset started to eat away at her willpower. And it started going really, really slow, like 0.2 pounds, 0.1 pounds, up 0.5 pounds, just back and forth. And it was really working on her. And it became a very unpleasant experience for me as a coach. Every 2 weeks, it was like a psychotherapy session, me trying to get her out of her head in these situations. So we made up a new rule where I said, all right, no matter what the scale says, we're only going to measure in terms of how far we've come. We're not measuring from where we stand to where we want to be. We're going to turn around and go, okay, this is how far I've come. So if we're down 0.2 pounds, we're not going to talk in the terms of, oh, I'm down 0.2 pounds. We're going to say I'm down 25.2 pounds since I started, or I'm down 31.6 pounds since I started. And we always measured from that point forward. And it was like a month, and she hit the 40-pound mark, and then she went to the 50-pound club right after that. So that little mindset shift of, wherever you're at currently, don't measure against where you want to be. Turn around and measure how far you've come, and think in those terms, especially if the weight tends to be kind of back and forth, which it always is, right? It's never a linear path. It's like the stock market. We just hope that the trend is going in the right direction, and it never tends to make sense for most of your weight loss journey. You'll have a really, in your mind, a really crappy week and have a great weigh in. You'll have a perfect week, have a bad weigh in. That's just the way it is, right? Let's give a few people some shout outs here. Keto Connect, what's up, Matt and Mega? Mega posted a beautiful pregnant Mega picture today. You guys got to check it out. Corey Kane Keto says the scales moved up and down, same 3 pounds over 5 weeks on carnivore, and no inch change really. So we're going to get to that in a second. So I've got some tips just for you for that sort of mindset where you're frustrated about back and forth. You've tried new things and you're seeing the scale kind of move back and forth. So I got something for you, Corey. First tip is if you're weighing yourself every day, and especially if you're obsessing over it, you're getting frustrated about what that scale is telling you, we got to stop weighing every day. All right. I recommend, my fave is once every 2 weeks. All right. If you're somebody like my friend Mike Daggett, Fat Dag from the Wise Advice podcast, shout out to Fat Dag. He weighs himself every day and he posts it on his website as part of his accountability. He doesn't change things every day or freak out or obsess over that number. So he can handle that. But if you're somebody that is freaking out and making bad decisions based off of what the scale tells you, we got to we need to separate the time that you're getting that impulse from the scale. All right. So I recommend once every 2 weeks, take the batteries out of the scale, throw it out, and only go to your gym and weigh or something like that. Tip 2, we want to have non-scale based goals. So think about things like endurance, strength, an event like a mud run, obstacle course race, and then like life goals. Like I want to get out and be more social. I want to get out and date. I want to get out and get married. I want to be able to ride roller coasters. I want to be able to ride airplanes. Things like that, those life goals, those are awesome, where, they're going to drive you forward without that scale obsession. And then kind of a third point on top of having life goals and the importance there is you want to shift your thinking, and instead of tracking and obsessing over the scale number, if you're going to track and obsess over something, set a habit goal. All right. And I love habit-based goals or show up or attendance-based goals of something that will, if you do it consistently, it'll probably nudge things in the right direction with weight loss. So a habit goal, like a certain amount of ounces of water you're going to drink every day, hours of sleep that you're going to get every week, how many workouts you're going to get in every week, things like that. I know a lot of you are runners, how many miles you're going to run each week. Set habit-based goals. And I love setting a habit-based goal that you can track on a daily basis. So if you are like Jerry Seinfeld tells a great story about, he wanted to become a better comedian, and that wasn't his focus. Like that was the goal that he was inspired by, but his habit was write a joke every day. And he got a wall calendar, and every day he wrote a joke, he'd make an X, and he would just say, don't break the streak. Don't break the chain of X's. You always put an X. You write a joke every day. And that was the habit that led to him being a masterful comedian. So what you need to think about is, what's the habit that will lead you towards that goal that you want to get to? If it's a weight loss goal, cool. If it's a strength training goal, cool. Backtrack that and think about what's something you can do on a daily basis that you can make that X on that calendar and start a win streak going. All right. So that's a little challenge for you. Corey, Can Keto, that's something I would recommend for you with your carnivore experiences. All right, why are you doing carnivore? What results are you looking to get out of that? And carnivore is one modality of getting you there. But think about that habit, that show up habit that we know will tend to drive your momentum in the right direction, and track that, and just make the carnivore diet. If you're going to stick with that, then that's cool. Be consistent with it. And that's just a part of your overall game plan. But instead of really stressing out about that, find a good show up habit, whether it's workout based, sleep based, meditation, all those sorts of things will drive us forward. So I would recommend that you give that a shot. And that's my fourth tip, is be willing to give this whole concept a shot, where if you are somebody that is making bad decisions based off of what the scale is telling you, it's time, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. And this is something that, I've been doing this for a long time. I've helped a lot of people. And this is something that a lot of people really struggle with. This is something that comes back on people. Like I was talking to a client tonight that I've had 3 or 4 rounds of this conversation where they kind of obsess over the scale, weigh themselves. They don't come in my controlled environment where I can kind of handle the situation. And then when they do, they get better results. And then if things start to backslide, they go back to the weighing themselves pattern, not the 2-week regimen pattern that we know is successful. So it's something that a lot of people struggle with. You guys are not alone with this, and it's a battle that will kind of be consistently there for a lot of people. So just don't feel like you're the only one out there dealing with this. It's something that many, many, many people deal with. Even if they're successful with their weight loss journey, they still deal with it. This is one of the things that, again, I have to bring up with my clients on a pretty consistent basis. I'm kind of in their ear about it. So you got to be willing to give it a shot, right? If you are obsessing over the scale, let's move back to a 2-week weigh-in protocol. Let's set some, action-based goals that are non-scale related. And then let's set up a habit that you can track that will build momentum towards your weight loss goal without you obsessing over the scale. Let's try that. If you need a tool to track the habit, head over to millionpoundmission.com. I've got 3 steps that you can use to launch your transformation for free. The first step is downloading my transformation battle plan workbook, and that has a habit tracker inside of it where you can set your intentions with your habit, and then the boxes are there for you to draw that X. And I'd love to go streaking with all of you. All right. So that's something that I'm really proud of. People are getting great results from that free tool. It's my number 1 tool, and I love it. Let's see here. I'm going to wave to a few more people here. Tracy, how's it going? James, Aaron Simpson down 200 pounds. Congrats, my friend. Keto Kitchen Mama, how's it going? Rob Dion from Open Sky Fitness. I hope maybe Charlie's watching. Let me know if Charlie's watching also. My little buddy Charlie, the cutest baby in the entire world, probably. Definitely in the state of California. So hopefully you guys got some value out of this. Again, the scale really just wraps its finger. It's kind of like, I don't know if any of you guys have watched The Lord of the Rings. It's like when Frodo or anybody puts that ring on, they really start to they're not acting themselves. And when people step on the scale, a lot of times the same thing happens, and we need to break free of that. So hopefully just think about one of these action steps that you think you could realistically implement over the next week here, and let's start taking action in that direction. All right. It's just really important that you guys stay out of your head when it comes to the scale and stay focused on the things that are going to actually produce results on that scale long term. So that's it for tonight. I appreciate you guys. If you guys need any help with anything, just reach out. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you can send a comment on the video here, and I will reply back. You can always send direct messages on Facebook, Instagram, the Facebook group. Send that DM out. But it's something that I love to do. I love to connect. Let's see. Lucy, I see you. The replay will be up. It was a good one. But yeah, if you guys are watching on Instagram, replay will be up for the next 24 hours. And on Facebook, it will be up forever. So I appreciate you guys. Again, millionpoundmission.com to pick up the free copy of the battle plan workbook. I've got some really fun things coming down the pipe here. We just closed out my first ever habit launch challenge. That was a ton of fun. Last week we did a 10-minute U-time challenge. I think we had to end up with about 30 people from all across the globe on that one. We had a lot of fun, and that we used the Spar app where people won money by showing up for the challenge every day. So that was pretty cool. The next one we're going to do in May is going to be a 7-day sugar detox challenge. And it's going to be awesome. All right. I don't have any of it, the link set up yet. By next week, I will. I'll give you the link to go to sign up for that. It's free. I'll have options for people on iPhone and Android. That my Android buddies were pissed at me because I didn't realize that the app was only on iPhone. I apologize, but now we've got things figured out. So I will get you guys taken care of, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really psyched. I'm gonna build a free mini course to go along with each day of the 7-day sugar detox. It's gonna be good. Super psyched about it. That's it for tonight. I appreciate you guys, and if there's anything I can do for you, just give me a shout. All right, have a great night. Let's see. We're gonna say goodnight to each people. Good night, YouTube. Good night. Good night.